It's yours truly, Lucy. And this week we are talking about how adulting can be a little bit ghetto. But seriously, this video is for anybody, no matter what age you are, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, heck, I know some people even started having to grow up when they were in their teens. But this video is for anybody who started adulting and is like, WTF, like what is going on? I know there are so many things that, that I expected, but like once things started happening, I really feel like I was blindsided once I moved out. So I'm just gonna tell you some things that I was not expecting becoming a functioning adult and how I am trying to manage it. And if I miss anything, tell me down in the comments, what are some things you weren't expecting about adulting and how are you managing that? And also, for anybody who is new to my channel, I do talk about subjects that are relatable to young adults and that can help with like self-improvement and anything that's just helpful for you guys. So if that is something you need in your life, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. So on to this week's topic. So the first thing they don't tell you about adulting is how expensive it is. And don't get me wrong, like I knew about like having to pay rent and utilities, things like that, but you really aren't prepared for all the small finances that you'll have to pay from time to time. Like, oh crap, something happened to your car. Have to spend money on that. Oh, I'm running low on household essentials. I need to spend money on that. Oh, I need to decorate my apartment. Oh my gosh, that is definitely expensive. Just take all my money. So I wasn't prepared for how much money I was going to spend. And that is minus like some of my own guilty pleasures, like spending money on like takeout, shopping. It all adds up so quickly. And then imagine on top of all that, becoming a full-fledged adult when inflation has been increasing out of this world. Gas prices have gone up, the price for groceries have gone up. It's just so expensive living now. And then on top of that too, wages aren't keeping up with inflation. So if anything, it's way more expensive being an adult now than it was 10 years ago. And I really can't, y'all. It's just so much. And so I was never really a person who budgeted before I moved out, I will confess. And I'm be honest, I don't budget like every single thing in my life, but definitely I took a notice of the things that I want to cut down spending on, and I've been budgeting that way, and it's been helping me a lot. The second thing they don't tell you about being an adult is that you have to figure out what you want to eat every single meal, every single day. No longer are the days where your parents cook for you, or even the days where, maybe your mom buys groceries and you just cook whatever is in the house. No, you are completely responsible for your grocery list and planning out the meals you want to eat and making sure those meals are cooked. And on top of that, having a full-time job, finding the energy, or maybe even some people have kids, so just finding the energy to do all that. And then sometimes it just really does become easier just to eat out, but then you're eating out so much that you're spending a lot of money, and on top of that, it's not good, it's not good for the waistline. I know there was a point that I was literally not even going out and picking up food. I was door dashing food to my apartment every other day. That's how bad it was getting. And so just planning out what you want to eat, it's just so time consuming, and I really was not prepared for that. So yeah, that is another thing I was not ready for. So the third thing they don't prepare you for is not being able to see your friends as often as you would like. They really don't tell you that becoming an adult has become a bit lonelier than before. I really do miss those times where, if I was bored or lonely, like, heck, I could just walk 1 minute away to my friends' dorms and just chill with them all night, Think about it like this. From the time you start kindergarten to the time you graduate either high school or college, you have access to so many different people. You have access to so many different ways to socialize with others. But then when you grow up and everybody starts moving away, focusing on their career, their family, you no longer have access to so many different connections. And on top of that, if you became an adult during the pandemic, like a lot of us are working from home, so no longer can you have access to friends through your job. That being said, I know I am in a very fortunate situation where A, I am still in close contact with my college friends, and B, that I have actually made friends with my coworkers because I moved out here. But it's one of those things I literally have to fight for. It takes effort, you know, to put yourself out there and to search for those connections, for those friendships. But even with the connections I'm making and that I still have, I still do get lonely too. So yeah, it's just something different. I think you can learn a lot about yourself when you just have time to be alone. And it is really a journey figuring out how to entertain yourself when you have no one else around. Now this fourth one, you might not take me seriously, but to me, it's just something tiny I noticed. But it feels like you're always constantly cleaning your kitchen when you start adulting. It's like every minute, like you could have cleaned your kitchen, everything's great. You cook one meal and then again, everything is just a disaster. It's like constantly, it's a constant cycle of cleaning your kitchen. Now I understand our parents getting upset when they came back to a dirty kitchen, because imagine cleaning it and then coming back and your kids are wrecking everything. Mommy, if you are watching this, I sincerely apologize. I get where you're coming from. I understand that anger now. So this fifth thing that I'll tell you about adulting or becoming an adult, especially in the social media era, is that you always constantly feel like you're not doing enough or you're not where you're supposed to be. As somebody who has kind of overcome this type of thinking, what really helped me was to understand that life isn't a race where the fastest person wins, you know? To me, I just see life as a journey, and that has really helped me. To me, everyone is in a journey in life, and there are so many different paths you can take, and these paths may be long, they may be short, there may be a lot, but we all have a different path to take to get to our destination. And I also think there are multiple destinations, you know, it's just not one. So your journey isn't gonna look like somebody else's. Yeah, this person is accomplishing so-and-so at the age of 25, but you have other goals, you know, or there are things in your life that have hindered you from accomplishing that in your 20s. And honestly, we are still so young. Even if you're in your 30s and you still feel like you're not there, you are still so young. There's so many successful people who didn't hit that success until they're at least in their 40s. So please just give yourself some grace, okay? You are where you are supposed to be right now. You're just figuring out your life. You're figuring out this journey. And then finally, the last thing they don't tell you about adulting is that it feels like you are juggling so many different things at once. Between tackling all my tasks at work, making sure Momo's okay, keeping track of my finances, eating healthy and working out, a social life, and keeping my mental health intact, it can be exhausting, honestly. And sometimes I feel like I'm fumbling it all, if we're being completely honest. Sometimes I feel like if I dedicate too much time to this one area, then this other area is going to be lacking. And it's just hard to kind of find that equilibrium. But that is why this is my advice for everyone out there, is to just take it one step at a time. I think acknowledging that growing up is hard and there are some areas in your life that you're really struggling with is, you know, the first way to get a hold of things. I think the second thing is to find what really motivates you. It doesn't have to be some big grand thing. For me, one thing that motivates me is traveling. So that's when I realized, oh, like, if I want to travel, you know, be happy and live my best life, I really need to like look at my finances, see where I can cut things so I can enjoy my life, and that makes things a lot easier. Also, my biggest motivator is me building a future for me and my future kids to live comfortably. That is also a very big motivator for me, and that's what keeps me going. So whether it's something big or something small, just find something that motivates you. And lastly, like I said earlier, it's just give yourself grace. You know, it might seem like everyone has everything figured out. And I used to be one of those people. I used to think that everyone had everything figured out and everybody's life was just this nice, smooth sailing trip, but mine. And that is not the case. And I even know there are probably people who were looking at my life thinking like, oh, she has everything figured out. Telling you, no, I do not. But I just give myself grace. I know I am human, and only one human can only do so much, you know? And I also know that I am still very young. I am only 25. And I just need to stop being so hard on myself. And I'm telling you guys to also stop being so hard on yourselves too. So that was it for this week's video. I really hope this helps you. Please let me know in the comments below if you are also experiencing any of the things I just mentioned. And again, lovelies, until the next video, it's been yours truly, Lucy. Bye.